Hi, my name is Michelle McCord, and my internship was done with United Way of Northern Utah Welcome Baby Program, and it's located in Ogden. Originally, I just kind of went through the BYU Idaho list of internships and kind of went through there to find who was close to where I lived. And United Way of Northern Utah was very close to my home. And I called and I talked with the supervisor, and her name was Julie Johnson. And she was over the Welcome Baby program. And while talking with Julie, I was able to set up a time for an interview, and later went on that interview, and I was given a tour of the facility, and I was introduced to the other employees associated with the Welcome Baby program. Julie explained that the Welcome Baby program is a free community service that supports parental roles by providing in-home visits which educate parents of children from birth to 3 years of age of important developmental milestones. Welcome Baby also provides learning kits for children to help prepare them for kindergarten readiness. These kits focus on color recognition, shape identity, sorting, sequencing, fine and gross motor development, and creativity. Some of the responsibilities that I had in this internship, I started this internship at the very last week in August. And that last week of August, in fact, the last week of every month, the women in the office would all pull together and we would do the paperwork needed for the in-home visitors to take into the families for the next month. So that was one of the first things that I was hit with, was getting that paperwork together. I was also responsible for putting together new volunteer binders and ID badges. I worked on the 2016, 17, 18, and 19 yearly reports, and this took the majority of my internship. This took a lot of time to create these yearly reports. I had a lot of information that I had to sort through and look at and try to decipher and pull together all of the figures that were required for these yearly reports. I also conducted survey calls to the family to see how they felt about the program. And one of my most favorite things was visiting the families who were on the Welcome Baby waiting list. They hadn't quite yet gotten an in-home volunteer yet assigned to them, and so if they weren't assigned yet, I was able to kind of go in and visit with some of the families there. How did I benefit the site I served at? Well, if you remember, I talked about the paperwork that they do every month. And this paperwork was done manually. And they would have a list of the names, the parents' names, their address, their email, their phone number, and then a list of their children. Well, they would go through, they would print these lists off, and then they would go through and they would highlight each one of the children that were in the program. They would then manually figure out the child's age in months according to their birth date. Then they would put a sticker next to a child who would receive an educational folder for that month. They would also indicate with a birthday sticker if it was a birthday month. So if the child was 12, 24, or 36 months, they would get it was called a birthday in a bag. And so everything that child would need to create a birthday party. So they would have a cake mix and frosting and birthday candles and paper plates and cups and party favors and that sort of thing. And it was kind of a birthday in a bag. And they would bring those in for that children. They would also receive a special birthday book for that month. And then they also wanted to, if a mother was having a new baby, then they would go in the month before and they would bring her a diaper bag, and in that diaper bag it would have baby beanie caps, it would have blankets, it would have bibs, it would have diapers, and it would have diaper rash cream, maybe a pacifier, a rattle, just whatever had been donated for the newborns that month. But they would do this all by hand, and I remember thinking that first week there's an easier way to do this, and so I went home and I created an Excel spreadsheet, and I showed it to the supervisor, and I kind of gave it to her and I said, hey, look, this might save you a lot of time, and if you can use it, that would be great. If you can't, then no problem. And so by the time I left my internship, they had just started to incorporate some of the Excel spreadsheet that I created for them. So hopefully they'll get more of the hang of the Excel spreadsheet, and they'll be able to utilize that better and make their lives a little bit more easier. I also tried to continually support the out-of-office functions, which promoted the Welcome Baby program. These functions could have been anything from community baby showers that they were putting on to raise things to help with the children in the home, book drives. One event that I did attend was a family photo night, and this was a great opportunity for the families in the program to get a professional picture done of their family. The majority of the families that took part in the Welcome Baby program are from low-income homes, and when you go into the homes, there are no pictures on the wall, especially pictures of their family. And so this I thought it was a very sweet thing, and the professional photographers donated their time and their talents. They actually printed off an 8x10, and the families that signed up for that came and had their family picture done, and it gave them something that they could put up on their wall as a family picture. So I tried to support those programs the best I could outside the office. How did I benefit personally from this experience? I gained a lot of knowledge and a better understanding of how a nonprofit organization is run. I gained more knowledge about other resources within the community that helped families. One organization that just totally blew my mind, and I didn't even know that it existed, and it's called God's Garage, and it's based out of Texas, but they've just started a one up here in Ogden, and it helps single mothers who are struggling with transportation to get an automobile. And all that single mother has to do is fill out some paperwork and prove that she can pay for the insurance and the gasoline on the car, and it automatically qualifies her to receive an automobile. And this is a game changer for a lot of single mothers in the community that are needing that reliable transportation. And I mentioned before, visiting with families involved in the program. It was a good way to reflect and apply some of the things that I learned from my coursework. And it was also one of my most favorite things to do. I keep saying that, but it was. An important connection between my coursework and what I experienced during my internship. You know, as a marriage and family student, a lot of the coursework I felt showed us how to be more supportive and an advocate for the family unit. And the Welcome Baby program services many families within the community by helping parents become more aware of recognizing those crucial developmental milestones within their child's development. The information that is shared and the support that's given to the parents then in return helps them to become a more proactive and supportive parent for their child. And I think that that's one of the most crucial things that we can do for each other, is just to be a support. And I think that that's something that United Way Welcome Baby does really well, is they give support to the parents. Would I recommend this experience to others? I enjoyed visiting with the families. It was one of my most favorite things to do, was to get out and to be on the front lines and visiting with the families and working with the families. I would have rather spent the majority of my time visiting with them. I am not an office person. I don't like sitting at a desk, and I find it really hard to do. So that aspect of that internship of sitting in an office was painfully slow paced for me. And being a nonprofit organization, I found it to be inefficient in some ways and very unorganized. And so it was hard for me to do more of that office aspect. But in talking with other people who work in an office setting, I don't think that that's abnormal for an office setting. I think that that's pretty normal. So take that as what you want. I enjoy getting out and working more with the people than I do sitting in an office. And if you're wanting to internship through United Way of Northern Utah, one advice that I can give you that is probably the best thing that I can tell you is to call a few semesters, if not a year in advance of when you're wanting to do your internship, because these positions fill up very quickly. I know when I left my internship, Julie had the winter, the spring, and the fall already filled with internships that were coming in. So this isn't the kind of position that you can just call the semester beforehand and say, hey, next semester I want to internship with you. What do I need to do? Because chances are you probably won't be able to get in. So it's something that you need to kind of work at a ways out from when you're expecting to do your internship. And you'll want to call Julie Johnson, and I've put her number on that slide, so if you wanted to call. And I appreciate you listening to me, and thank you.